So a lot of modern powerlifting programs focus on pushing your primary days, that's the day where you have your heaviest squat, bench, and deadlift, and the last weeks of your microcycle. I'm just going to say week 4 is for the purpose of this video to be simple. Now this system does have its benefits. It can teach you how to push and perform at a certain time, and of course we are powerlifters, we like lifting heavy. And also if you get into a pattern where you can make yourself strong on a certain day, that's really useful for when you're going to peak into competition. We need some exposure for maximal weights to get used to them, and also it's a good indicator of progress if we see how our maximal weights are trending over time. The issue I see though is people are starting to put the cart before the horse. Remember, our goal is to get stronger over time. And to be most efficient, we want to do it specifically in competitions if we're a competitor, or if we're not a competitor during our 1 rep max tests. We don't necessarily want to be stronger on our primary day and our week 4. But a lot of people really emphasize that first and foremost, and it leads to suffering of their long-term progress. For example, let's say you have 2 squat days in a week. If you really underdo the lighter one to ensure that you're recovered and perform well on the heavier day, well, you're really underdoing the workload you're hitting within a week. That same concept could apply to going through the lighter weeks in your microcycle. You take it nice and easy so you don't have any fatigue, and then in your heavy week you can really push yourselves. And then similarly, after this really heavy day or this really heavy week, well then we're so fatigued that we can't really push our workload that much on the days following it. We have to recover. The common theme of all these things is we're really hurting the stimulus we can handle overall, and we're going to get less adaptations over time because of it. I also think a lot of lifters burning out can be traced back to the system of prioritizing our heavy days and our heavy weeks within our microcycle too much. First off, this lack of long-term focus can hurt your gains over time, and eventually you could plateau, and that's going to be very frustrating. Going too heavy too often like this could also augment injury risk through poor load management, and it's inevitable that we're going to have a bad day sooner or later, or even a bad week. And when we're going so heavy so often, it becomes really apparent when we have that dip in performance, and that's going to hurt us mentally. Now, to play devil's advocate here, I was kind of talking from the perspective like you are trying to maximize long-term progress, but that's not always the case. Many powerlifters don't intend to do it forever, maybe just for a few years, or even if they do intend to do it forever, there's something to be said for enjoying yourself more along the way than absolutely squeezing every last bit you can get for long-term progress. Ultimately, you can decide what's worked for you. I just think a lot of powerlifters have gotten so lost in this modern theory of programming where we're really pushing our primary days, really pushing our last weeks of our microcycle, that they're losing sight of what they could actually be doing that is harming them. So as for my practical suggestions for your programming, my overall theory is you should be trying to maximize your workload. So that means you're probably going to want to keep a more equitable workload between your different workouts within a week, and also just week to week within your program. We're trying to hang around that more optimal workload for the individual so they can maximize stimulus and maximize progress. Now, like I said before, there are some benefits to going heavier, so I do think you can have some level of this where you're going heavy once in a while, getting used to heavier weights, seeing how your max is progressing, and again, just enjoying yourself. But ultimately, try not to have too much of a dramatic difference in loading between different days and weeks in your program. Something else that will help progress are bench mats from Odyssey. They're non-slip mats I recommend for anybody training on a slippery bench. The difference in leg drive is huge, and it's helped me a ton as I train in a more commercial gym. You can get one for 10% off with code MADVENA, all one word, link in the description and pinned comment. Thank you to Odyssey. Anyways, I hope this idea and framework of how the program was helpful to you in this video overall. I also want to do more Q&A type videos or just subjects people are interested in, so if you have something in particular you would like to see, comment it down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, thanks for watching.